Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to Sports Today. There's already been quite a lot happening in the world of sports because the Asian Games has been ongoing. India have already notched up a few medals, including their first gold medal of this year's Asian Games. However, the world of sport is such a thing, it never really sleeps. So even whilst you and me and all of us are catching up on some all-important rest, the world of sport doesn't really stop. There's always something going on somewhere in some part of the world. So in this video, what we will do is we'll bring you things that you may have missed out on, because quite frankly there has been a lot going on. So without any further ado, let's just quickly get through it one by one. Let's start with some news for you for the third ODI against Australia, and reports are indicating that both Shubman Gill and Shardul will not be available for that final ODI. Now the reason isn't anything injury related, for those of you who are wondering, but it is simply down to the Indian team's rest and rotation policy, which will see two players who most people are expecting will be sure shot starters for the Indian cricket team come that first ODI World Cup game get some all-important rest. Now both of them of course have been playing in the matches so far, and so considering the fact that the Indian team have been constantly rotating and dropping and changing players, it does seem like you will not be playing with your core team, even though the likes of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and Hardik Pandya and Kuldeep Yadav potentially will be back in the playing 11 for that third and final decisive ODI. But they aren't the only team who are doing such experimentation or chopping and changing bases conditions. Bangladesh have named Najmal Hossain Shanto as their captain for the third and final ODI that they will be playing against New Zealand at home. Now it's interesting in many ways because again, even Bangladesh and New Zealand for this particular series are essentially playing what are very second string sides. There's been rest and rotation and experimentation from both sides. And what Najmal Hossain Shanto, who by the way until quite recently wasn't necessarily a regular for Bangladesh but has quickly established themselves as one of their better batters up top, now suddenly has the responsibility of leading the team. And again, he too is not the first or even second choice captain, because again Shakib would normally be the captain, but he's been rested for this tour, and he wasn't the first choice captain in the previous games as well. It was Litin Das. So it's pretty interesting, so many captaincy changes, but that is just the nature of the beast when it comes to doing let's say rest and rotation and ensuring that your best players are fit and raring to go for the marquee event. Now speaking of players and talking about fitness, Shreyas Iyer has been one of those players who in this year 2023 really has been the year of setbacks for him as far as injuries are concerned, because he's had three major injury setbacks. But the good news is he got a big 100 in that second ODI against Australia at Indore. Does look like his confidence is back, and that rhythm which he was lacking, thanks to of course not having much game time, also appeared to be at full effect in this match. However, he was jokingly asked about whether or not he could be that person who could supplant Virat Kohli at number 3, and he said that look, Virat's a legend, you're not actually supplanting him just like that. My role here is very simple. It is to keep scoring runs in whatever position and whichever opportunities I get, which you'd say is a pretty good response. But again, if he keeps up his showings like this, and provided he can stay fit, let's not forget the fact that the likes of Kohli, Rohit, etc., their days in ODIs won't be lasting forever. Again, many are expecting that maybe 2023 could be the final hurrah, the last goodbye, the final dance, whatever it is you want to call it for a lot of these players. So Shreyas Iyer, fitness permitting, might be an option. He might not even be an option because India might discover more talent, but definitely doing his chances no favor with the kind of batting performances he's been putting up, especially that 100 against Indore. Moving our attention now from the world of cricket to the world of football and sports beyond, Atletico Madrid had a massive victory in the local derby against their massive and more successful neighbours Real Madrid, thanks to a brace from Alvaro Morata. Atletico, who are probably the team that were less fancied coming into this particular tie, ended up winning it 3-1. And of course, there has been some doubt about Real Madrid because they've been very, very reliant for goals on Jude Bellingham, who, whilst a great goal scorer, is not primarily tasked with being a goal scorer or a source of goals all the time. However, he had been, and in this case, unfortunately, Real Madrid were found wanting against a tactically superior side on the night. there was more interesting results in the world of football. Newcastle United were taking on Sheffield in the Premier League, and they hammered 8 goals past them. Not even kidding, 8 goals. And it wasn't even like Sheffield United were that bad. After a point, they just wilted under intense, relentless pressure from the Magpies, whereas, well, Newcastle United were very, very, very good at taking their chances. That is why they ended up getting 8 goals. And again, major statement of intent from Newcastle. Yes, their return to the Champions League did kind of underwhelm, considering that they drew 0-0 with AC Milan. But hey, if you can keep putting up performances like this, you will be in the public conscience, and more importantly, there will be a fear factor around you as the Champions League group stages, let's say, wears on. Switching our focus once again, there's been some good news when you're talking about, let's say, Indian sports, and unexpected, let's say, medals coming, because again, India won 2 medals in rowing earlier this morning, and it was again unexpected to say the least, because most people, when you're talking about, let's say, medal prospects for India, you're thinking of, okay, shooting being one, wrestling, boxing, of course cricket now, and we'll be getting to that soon enough, because later today there is of course a gold medal event that's taking place in the women's cricket final. You weren't expecting much from sports like rowing and sailing, but you ended up getting 2 medals on the day from rowing, and of course big props to the teams to do that. They managed to defy expectations, not just against opponents who would have probably been better prepared, but add essentially bonus medals to India's count, because again, this year there has been plenty of talk that India will look to breach the 100 medal mark at the Asian Games, and the more medals you can win early on, the merrier it is, of course, because you want to be competing right up there with the best and proving that you do in fact belong with them. Another sport which of course not many people have that much hope for as far as medals are concerned is of course tennis, but the good news is that 3 of India's tennis players have in fact made it through the quarterfinals or the round of 16. Rituraj Bhosle, Ankita Raina and Ramkumar Ramanathan are all through to the round of 16, and of course the opponents that they face in the Asian Games, it's a mixture, let's say, of quality, because again, tennis is one sport where the top players will more often than not be playing in either Europe or America or Canada. It's generally speaking more, you'll not find that many Asian teams or Asian players, beg pardon, who will be excelling at the top level of the sport. So it can be a mixed bag. Of course, a medal you'd always hope would be possible, because again, remember, if you can make it through to the semis, then you're in with a chance, because even if you lose that semi, there is a 3rd place playoff. So far so good when it comes to the let's say tennis contingent, as far as getting closer to that medal prospect. Of course, there'll be plenty more action coming your way in the Asian Games, and we'll be bringing you all of that. So that brings me to the end of this particular video. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you enjoy our work, please don't forget, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, where you'll get highlights of the India-Australia series, as well as plenty of other sporting action around the world. And of course, if you're already on the channel, go right ahead, check out some other videos we've put up. For now though, from my side, it is bye-bye.